Hey guys, how's everybody doing? Welcome back to episode 8 of our contemporary keyboard course. In this episode, I'm going to go into detail about how to play a song. I know everybody's been waiting for this moment, so have I. And I've picked something very simple and very familiar to everybody. This song is Twinkle, Twinkle, Little Star. I'm sure everybody's grown up hearing it, and I'm sure everybody's hearing it even now, somewhere or the other. I'm just going to play the melody out on the C major scale. Why we use C major scale to learn all of our concepts is because it's a natural scale. There's no accidentals, and so it's very easy for you to learn. Okay, let's go to C major scale. The starting note of the song is the first note C, which works out great for us to learn. C, G, A, G, F, E, D, C. G, F, E, D, G, F, E, D, C. I'm choosing to finish the line slightly different way just for our learning purposes. Let's play that again a little faster. Now, once you've learned the melody of the song, it's going to be very easy for you to figure out the chords since we've already done voice leading and inversions. Now we're going to go into putting our inversions and voice leading to good use. Now, the first step to do is to know that every bar in this song has only two notes, and both notes are invariably the same note. So in the first bar, it's two C's. The second bar, it's two G's. The third bar is two A's. The fourth is two G's again. And this goes on throughout the entire song, except in the very last bar where it goes to it goes from E to D and then C. Okay? Otherwise, all of the bars have both of the exact same notes. So it is very easy for us to figure out the chords. There's only one chord in each bar for this specific song. Now, the chords that are available to us are the diatonic chords, which we did in our earlier episode. Let's review that. The first chord is C major, second chord is D minor, third is E minor, fourth is F major, fifth is G major, sixth is A minor, seventh is 7 B diminished, and back to 8, which is the first chord. Now, we're going to not use the diminished chord because we haven't gotten to that stage yet. We're only going to use 1, 2 minor, 3 minor, 4, 5 and 6 minor. Okay. Now, how are we going to use the chords? Which chord do we know goes with which note? The first note, C, right? Twice. Both notes are the same, so we can just use one chord. Now, the first chord of this song can be the first C major because C belongs to C major, right? The second note is G. Now let's look at the chords in the diatonic chords that have the note G in them. C major has a G, E minor has a G, G major also has a G. Okay, we cannot use a D minor or an F major or an A minor in this chord because the chord that we choose has to have the letter of the melody in it, the G in this case, right? So I'm going to start with the C major, and for the next note I'm going to choose G major. Okay, so we're going to start with right? You see how we're using inversions to play the song out. The first chord is played in the first inversion. The melody note always has to be on the rightmost position. That's how it's easy for the human ear to pick up on the melody note. That's how you will know what song you're listening to or what song you're playing, because the top note is what's going to be most audible to your listener. So we stick to the melody on the top, and we're going to form the chord right below that. So the melody note is the C, and the chord that we have chosen is C major. So you keep the C and you add the G and E right below. So this becomes your first inversion. So the first chord is first inversion C major. The second chord with G in it, we're holding the G chord. So you form the chord below the melody note, D and B. Also your first inversion. So simple. Okay, let's keep going. The next note is A. Now the chords in the diatonic chords that have A in it are D minor, F major and A minor. Okay, for this I'm going to use F major. Hold the melody note and pick out the notes of the chord below it, right? A, F and C, A being the melody note. Okay, from the top, C, G, F with A on top. Okay, if you notice, I'm just going in a random order of picking the chords that I like. You can choose to play around and pick the chords that sound best to you. There's no rules about this. At the end of the day, your ear trumps all musical theories and rules. So just go ahead and pick the chord that you think sounds best. For practice purposes, I'm just going to go with these chords that I'm used to. 1, 5, 4. We're going to come back to G, which is the melody. C, G, A, G. Now, since you're coming back to G, you don't want to repeat the same chord, right, which we played earlier, G. I'm going to come back to C. So the melody is G, and you're going to hold the remaining notes of C major below it, E and C. So now you're coming back to root position C major. Let's play the first line. You hold the chord down and you play the melody as is in the song. Twice. Okay, now let's move on. The next note is F. Now F major we already played. So let's go to another few options. D minor has F. F major has F. B diminished has F, but we're not using B diminished, and we've already played F in the first line. So let's just go with D minor. Melody note F, form the chord below, D and A. D minor, next note is E. I'm going to choose A minor in this case because we've already played C twice in the first line, right? So E belongs to A minor as well, A, C, E. Hold the melody, form the chord below, A minor. The next note is D, and I'm going to choose G to play along with it. D on melody, B and G form the notes of the chord right below, G, and back to our first chord, which is C major, C on melody, G and E right below. Okay, let's take it from the top until here. Following so far. You can choose any chords that you like. Just remember, the melody of the song has to be on your rightmost, and you form the remaining notes of the chord below the melody. You can choose whichever chord you want as long as the note of the melody belongs to that chord, and the chord is a diatonic chord, which means it has to belong to the key. In this case, our key is C major. Please keep that in mind as we move forward. The next line is very simple again, 2 notes in a bar, both are the same, and we just have to pick one chord for each bar. Now, since we've played G a lot, I'm just going to go with E minor for this line. G on melody, E and B form the chord right below. I'm going to use our concept of voice leading and just go down in the same position that I'm holding the chord, which comes down to D minor. The next note, which is F. I'm using D minor to play F. And for the next note, E, I'm going to play C major. Next note, D, I'm going to play G major. Okay, let's play the entire line again. Okay, you want to take it from the top. Very last line, I'm going to use the same chord, E minor, in the melody G. The next note is F. I'm going to switch to F major. Melody note on top, chords in the bottom. And the last bar is E, D, C. Now, since E and D are two different notes, we're going to choose one chord for each note. So this is the only bar in the entire song that will have two chords in the bar. E, I'm going to choose A minor to play E with. D, I'm going to choose G major to play it with. And C will obviously be the first chord, C major. Last line. That concludes our song. Now I'm just going to play it once for you and show you how to play the entire song. This concept of playing is giving a lot of importance to the melody so that the listener knows exactly what song you're playing, and also using techniques of voice leading and inversions. Without inversions and voice leadings, the songs that we play is going to sound very monotonous, which is why we use voice leadings and inversions to color it up as much as we can. Don't forget to use your velocity. Don't forget to practice different dynamics. When I say dynamic, I mean softer and louder. Let's try this again with a little bit more of a drastic dynamic. Don't forget to write this down. Make sure you say it and learn it as much as possible. It may be confusing in the beginning, but the more you play it and the more you hear it, you're going to understand what's going on with the song. And you can use this technique to play pretty much any other simple song that you might listen to or that you might want to play. We're going to cover some transposition in our next episode. So stay practicing and see you soon.